Welcome to Pull the Pin Already, a place where average veterans come to share their opinions in the world we live in. We can't guarantee you're going to like our opinions.
But we promise we're going to enjoy giving them to you.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Mike.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Paul.
Let's pull the pin. Took a little while, but we got through it. We got through it, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. All right. Now, topic we have for you guys today.
Do you want to start with the video, Mike?
No.
Okay.
But what I want to start with is this. Guys, Jim is going to play a video. Go ahead, Jim.
Alrighty.
Oh, God.
Train and we understand, and I want to understand white rage, and I'm white, and I want to understand it. So what is it that caused thousands of people to assault this building and try to overturn the Constitution of the United States of America? What caused that? I want to find that out.
There you have it.
So that's the topic.
Yeah.
So well, come on, white people, what is it?
Pick one. Pick one. There's a couple topics in there, right?
Yeah, it's a couple of topics. He said he wants to find out what caused this rage.
No, he didn't. White rage.
White rage.
White rage for people to attack. I can't even do it. I was going to try to be serious.
An assault, I think.
Yeah, the assault on the Constitution.
No,
he wants to find out
on the White House. No,
not the White House, Jim.
Capitol, right.
From January 7th up until now, you're still calling it the White House. Because it doesn't.
Because I missed the. Well, somebody told me there was an insurrection, and I didn't see the one at the Capitol because that was not an insurrection. So I assumed it had to be the White House.
God, here we go. He does it every episode we talk.
Even assault. I mean, I don't know what's an assault. Do you bring an assault rifle to an assault, or do you just bring an assault fist, or what? What's an assault?
So Jim, for the sake of not arguing, excuse me, what do you want to call it? The erection on January 6th?
The erection.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess what he's referencing is the erection on I can't even say it. God, on January 6th. All right. And he wants to know what caused it.
We could call it the FBI co-op plan.
Yeah. But I'm taking it like he's saying that learning critical race theory is going to teach him what caused the white rage on January 6th. Do you guys disagree?
No.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Was that what he was saying?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Because I thought it was a congressional hearing over something they were teaching at West Point.
Yeah, but he was saying he wants to learn about critical race theory. Because
he didn't say that. He said white rage. He didn't say critical race theory. He said white rage.
You're right.
Those are two different topics.
You're right.
An assault legally, Mike, you've been a law enforcement officer. What's the legal definition of assault?
The opposite of pepper.
Isn't it making one's fear for their life or their safety? Battery is actually like hitting them.
Yeah, the physical contact.
Okay, so did the building feel threatened?
Well, I would say yes if you look at the videos, because the Capitol Police, who are a
totally different entity than the building that he said.
No, they work at the building. They are there to protect the building. So when they were assaulted, therefore the building was being assaulted.
Yes, and I think they even have a job description, the building whisperer or something. The guy that talks to the building. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's probably a paid position too. Probably a pretty good, six-figure gig or something.
That's it, man.
Okay, so even let's give him the benefit of the doubt of legal semantics, right? That general swore to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. In that Constitution is the very first amendment of the Bill of Rights. In that first amendment of the Bill of Rights, there are 5 enumerated negative liberties that are meant to restrain the Congress. And in one of those, the people are granted the right of petition for the right of address of grievances. So the people show up at the people's house to have a redress for their grievances, and they shut the fucking door in their face. So at that point, what do we say? Like, okay, boys, that settles it. They close the doors. I'm almost wondering if it, like in Concord and Lexington, if they showed up and Tarleton went, hey guys, the king said you need to turn in your weapons. And they went, oh, fuck, that settles it. Here's my guns. Where would we be today other than speaking the Queen's English? And probably a bunch of pansies.
Yeah, and you know, man, I don't want to say this. It's going to sound terrible. I almost feel like they really need to see what an insurrection is, but I don't really want that because that's not a good thing. But then people might look and say, well, what were they calling that? It's pathetic. And it's led by the FBI, which even makes it even more sad that they couldn't even pull off a convincing insurrection. But why? Somebody could have brought a gun at least.
Yeah. Can you name me any other unarmed insurrections in history that you can think of? And now let's flip it. If it was really an insurrection, all those people showed up and they were armed and determined, would it have been over in a couple of hours, or would they still be sitting in the middle of the Capitol going, hey, fucktards?
Right.
This is the way it works. So to even label it an insurrection is nonsensical. It has no cogency to the definition of the word insurgency at all. It was the people showing up to the people's house and saying, hey, we have a grievance. And they shut the door in their face.
And let's be real. If I had white rage, why would I go after the White House? Oh no, that's not that. The Capitol building.
It's white too.
Right.
But see, that's systemic racism. The people's house is white. Since the topic was critical race theory, that would be one of the points that they would attempt to make. So white rage, what is the point of labeling it white rage? Is it to push this white supremacist narrative? This now feeds into the CRT. Is that the intent?
No one else. Okay. I would say yes.
I would agree. And so Mike, let me ask you, my friend, how much white supremacy do you see in our country today? I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, that there's not people that think that I'm supreme based upon my color, right? But as an institutionalized thing, how much white supremacy do you personally see?
That I see, I don't know how to rate that. To be honest with you, are you looking for like a percentage or
no? Just give it a go. I mean, do you think like, yeah, we've got a fuck ton of white supremacy in this country, or there's a fringe element out there of fucktards that think that like, hey, I'm superior just because of the pigment of my skin?
I still don't know how to gauge it, Paul. Like you said, no. Like you said, you know it exists, or this little fringe sect of the population, they exist. But if you were to ask me, do I believe that it's within government? I would say yes. If you were to ask me, do I believe that it's there's white supremacy in a certain amount of the Fortune 500 corporations, I would say yes, based on my personal experience. Yes.
So is it the perceived notion of white supremacy or actual white supremacy?
Actual.
So what you're saying is your observation is that.
Or what's the term they use today, I can provide receipts.
Say again one more time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can provide receipts, as they say today. It's kind of like going with that woke stuff. But yeah, I can provide receipts of actual incidents or instances of white supremacy.
Okay, so I'm going to follow along with you, but I'm going to need an example from you.
I said, oh, you weren't on the show. I said it on the show where there was an instance where a guy who looked kind of like you, and you know him. I'm not going to throw his name out there. He was just speaking to a hiring manager about a certain position, and this hiring manager said to him, "Oh, that's it," because they were having like a cordial conversation, and he thought he was building a rapport with said hiring manager. And what happened was this hiring manager asked him, "Hey, can you send me a picture, and I'll see if you make our profile." He knew what it meant, and he shared it with me, and I was like, "Wow, wow."
Whoa. Okay. So there's an assumption being made here, right? I mean, what if their profile was, I want an Asian, I want a female. I mean, what is their profile? So you're making an assumption. So this totally plays into critical race theory here. So you're making an assumption based by looking through the lens of racial relations.
Right. Okay. If you want to say
it,
no, I got you. If you want to say it's an assumption, that's fine. I'll give you that.
Okay.
But when he does send, and I asked him, I said, "What did you do?" He said, "I knew what the hell she meant, so I sent her my picture," and he got the position. She's
maybe
white.
They needed a white guy.
No, everybody that got the job was white. 4 positions, all of them were white.
Are you sure of that?
I'm positive.
And so you okay? And that may be true. I'm not going to argue with that. I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking the question. And then so we also know the qualifications of all those that were involved in there, and there was no meritocracy involved. It was just, I'm hiring you regardless of your qualifications due to your pigment. Is that the assumption?
Yes.
Because the market will punish the shit out of that. Go for it.
They have yet to be punished.
So that tells me that the person that they hired was able to do the job based on their merit, regardless of their color. And if they just chose to hire that, they got lucky. They won't get lucky for long.
Okay, but you said the market is going to punish them, and I said the market has yet to punish them.
Well, that means that they are qualified to do the job.
So now it's okay.
If I'm hiring you to do a job, yes, I care that you are qualified to do the job.
But you asked for a picture.
So think about it from a market aspect. You as a black man are more qualified and more skilled to do the job than I am. Am I going to benefit from hiring me versus hiring you? Or in the market, am I going to benefit from hiring you versus hiring me?
You'll benefit from hiring me.
Correct.
So why?
So
yeah.
again,
Okay, I got that. But when they ask for a picture does not show your qualifications. Am I right?
I agree 100%.
Right. So now when you say you need like an example, that's an example. And trust me when I say there's a whole lot more.
I mean,
there's a whole lot more.
We'll discuss that later, but again, what you're telling me, and there may be more to it, but what you're telling me is that is based upon an assumption, which makes an ass out of you an umption.
I ain't making an ass out of me. It was proven when he got the job. And everyone out there, the 4 positions, everyone looked like him.
Was he qualified for the position?
No, actually he wasn't. No, actually he wasn't.
The market will punish that. It may not.
Can I interject?
Today, but the market will punish that.
No, what I'm saying, oh God, man, we can talk sidebar because I can throw you the name and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But because
have we had debates with this guy in Kandahar?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
Oh, hell no. He was there, but no, sir. It's not him. No.
Can
Because
I
I would say
interject
the
before you
market would
guys go to
definitely
story
punish you
time
if you hired
again?
that guy.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
I just wanted to ask because I want to get this clear because I've had this similar, not discussion on this topic, but I've had a discussion with my daughter about LGBTQ issues, and one of the things I discovered is the groupthink. I'm not going to bring up the whole issue itself because we're talking about it, but the groupthink has an idea that if you don't support LGBTQ, then you hate them, and that is not an absolute truth. It just means you don't support the behavior, you don't support anything. So why is the group think that if I prefer a certain type of employee, regardless of pigment, why does that assume that I don't like the other pigments? Why is that assumption true? I mean,
Who
if you
says
go
the
to a gas
assumption is
station in
true?
New Jersey, the pigments are similar, and I don't know if it doesn't offend me. It just means this is who they choose to work for them. So I just don't know.
I think you're adding something to that. I don't think, and maybe some people are speaking as what you're in your example here, but what I'm saying is it's wrong, right? I don't care if you hate, don't like, or you prefer. I don't care what you throw in there. It's wrong. You ask me to provide proof, I provide proof.
But
Now, if I don't care who did it, if you're opening up an Asian restaurant and you're hiring a chef, you know what I mean? So, and they want to hire an Asian chef, I'm like, okay, but if you have the three of you guys who are qualified to be said chef, but they're gonna choose it's wrong. And I think the problem is people start to try to pick things apart. And I'm gonna say, Paul, it's the same thing. Like, well, that's an assumption. No, it's not always that. It's a fact.
Well, it's a
And
personal choice. Hey, Mike,
well,
you know
yeah,
what?
the personal choice thing. I agree. It's a personal choice. It's a preference, whatever you want to call it. But it's still a fact that this guy was hired because he's white or whatever you want to throw in there. But let's just keep it simple. He's hired because he's white. Now, does that mean they hate all others? No. Does that mean they don't? I don't really care for them? No, I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is it's wrong, and it's been going on in this country for the longest. And when people try to counter that, I'm like, well, maybe they're not seeing the same things that I am or that others are. That's my position.
Okay, so can I offer you a pseudo ridiculous comparison?
Oh, good Lord. Yeah.
Mike, I think you're a sexy motherfucker. I want to date you.
That's going to get a lot of clicks.
Whoa! I might have something to say about that.
Like you, well, you don't want to date
That's
me,
my
Mike?
bits.
I mean, what are you, a racist, homophobe, sexist? Do you have no choice in the personal relationships that you have in life? Should you just be like, oh, well, fuck it. I have to be all inclusive. The white guy really wants to like climb me like a tree. So like I have to do it. And if I don't, like that's wrong. I know I went absurdum infinitum on
But there's a point to it. I get it.
But it's the same. If I own a business, who are you to tell me who the fuck I can hire?
And Hooters didn't get popular by putting a bunch of fat girls in short, tight orange things.
I wouldn't say that, but okay.
So now I can hire whoever I want to, regardless of whoever I want to hire. And if that's not the smartest economic decision, the market is going to punish me because I think that's retarded. Because I don't give two shits what kind of genitalia you have, what form of pigmentation you have. I want the best person for the job. And if you're going to be like, fuck the best person for the job because they're black, they're Asian, they're female, they're gay, they don't know which bathroom to use, it doesn't make a shit's bit of difference. If I hire inferior people based on something as arbitrary as something that you cannot control, the market is going to punish me. Does it punish me directly in government contracting? No. So it's a jacked up system. It's not the market.
Right. So if a company, an organization was trying to hire someone with a medical background, all right, and between the four of us, we all know who's more qualified, right? Okay. We all submit our resumes and everything, and they ask, hey, send me a picture, see if you meet the profile. But then they hire me. Okay, compared to you, I have less than combat lifesaver. Right?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Why would I want to work for a company?
You
that
are not
that
answering the
has
question.
No value to my marriage.
What is the job you're talking
Is that
about?
is that
Only
okay?
What is
only
the
has
job?
value to my pigment. Why would
I
I
said
want to work
medical.
for that company?
It's
No,
in the
I'm
medical field.
saying the one you're talking about. That scenario, yeah, that makes sense. But the one you're saying you got receipts for, what kind of job is that?
Program manager.
And what are the I mean, is there circumstances around it where they'll be working? Like, you don't want guys you don't want to hire a woman if she's going to go to Arab countries where they don't listen or respect women. I mean, I know scenarios in private investigation. If I'm going to do a job, somebody's going to go do a job in a downtown neighborhood where it's full of non-Caucasians.
Yeah,
I'm not
but
going to be the one sitting there. I mean, there's certain criteria that even in that scenario, I just want to know
yeah,
all the
okay,
details.
okay,
You're
but
saying specifically
okay, that's good, Jim.
that
But
you
if you
know.
say if the job is in the heart of whatever, Atlanta, right? And yeah, I would rather have Mike James there because the
It's more
demographic is
effective for
there,
the job.
right?
Yes.
So why don't they put that on the on the job site when they?
Why do they have
I don't think they're allowed.
Why do they
Why
have
not?
to?
Aren't there laws?
They're offering to buy your labor. Why do they
Okay,
have
why
to
is
explain what they want
I got
somebody to
that,
buy your
Paul.
labor?
I got that, but using you guys' logic on let the marketplace decide and all of this, why it might be smarter if you hire a female that go down in certain areas or whatever. Why is it against the law to post that? Why is it?
It shouldn't be.
But it is. So I'm asking you, why is it?
Because they think that fucking black people are too fucking incapable to make it on their own, so they're gonna pander to your ass so they can get your vote.
So it can't be that if you look at the majority of corporations, we're not just talking about today, we're talking about history here. I'm
gonna laugh at Oprah Winfrey as soon as you say what you say, but go ahead.
You want to just get it out now?
Go ahead.
You want to just get it out now? Okay, but if corporations have been, let's say, noticeably not hiring people of color and just sticking with the old stigma of just white males, right? And diligently passing over all others, you're okay with that?
Yes, because the market will punish them.
Okay,
you get a job, and you get a job, and you get a job.
No, I'm asking. So you're okay with it? No, I got that, Paul. I got that. And even if it takes however long for the market to punish you, so how do you define punishment, though? When you say that, how does the market punish you?
Because hey, I chose to hire underperformers based upon their pigment.
Why is it that it always has to be an underperformer, though?
Can I ask a serious question? Why is it that we're looking at white people to succeed in any job? Why is it that you can't create your own business, or like, why is that even a thing? Like, there are plenty of black-owned businesses and things like that. So why is that the issue? That we're looking for a job from a white man who doesn't hire people of color because he's a racist.
So all non-white people should go to non-white organizations, non-white businesses, open up their own when they have the monopoly on. Say what?
Would it be the same? Would it be the same if you had a black-owned business? But I'm saying if you had a black-owned business who hired only black people, would that be the same?
We talked about this. I said that's equality, right? Remember that?
Equality of what, though?
No, it was a joke. It was a joke, Paul. It was a joke.
Yeah. Hey, is Ryan here? Is Ryan still here?
Just waiting for everybody to take a part. Somebody's going to have to stop and breathe.
Okay, I'm going to pause.
No, go ahead. Y'all have this conversation. I'm good. I'm listening. You're fine. I mean, I kind of see it both ways, if that makes sense, because I've never been in a situation where I wasn't hired because of my color. Does that make sense? Because I can't really say for sure that exists or not exists in America today, because I'm not in that position to answer that question. I mean, I'm a white male, so maybe it does exist for you, and maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Okay,
but I know Paul is kind of right in the aspect that the market will punish you by not hiring for merit. You're hiring for color. You're not hiring for merit. So yes, you're gonna ultimately not do the job the way it should be done. Your business is not gonna grow the way it should.
No, that's not necessarily true though. No, hear me out. I'm
It may take 30 years to get there, but it will. Eventually, that business is going to be passed up by other businesses that are hiring for merit, that are hiring people for based on skill set, not for color. And those other companies are going to pass over that company.
Okay, so
in the meantime,
if you really listen to what you guys are saying, the market is going to punish this company. This company wants to be, let's just call it what it is, right? This company wants to be all white. Hey, that's what they want. It's kind of like Pinterest, right? They don't want to put those type of ads on there. Hey, the market is going to dictate if they're going to be successful for a certain amount of time or whatever. Got that? So if they are, and we use the word a couple of times here, right? Punish. If they are punished, why are they punished and how are they punished?
Are we talking about government contracts or are we talking about the actual market?
The actual market.
Contracts is not the market.
Right. We're talking about the market.
Because they're not doing the job to the standard that someone who is better at it would do. So by not doing the job that someone better at it do, some other company's going to get the benefit of having a better person in that place because they're not hiring based on color. They're hiring based on merit.
Yeah, I think that's a small section of when you talk about the punishment, though.
Well, yeah, but that's the only. Well, you're right. In any other aspect, I don't see how it would be punished. I think that it would just be a matter of not necessarily getting the best person for the job would be the punishment because you're not going to be productive as someone who does hire on merit.
Right. So my thing is, if they're not hiring the best person for the job, then that's going to come out sooner or later. Is what you guys are saying, and then the market is going to punish them.
In your performance.
Exactly.
Right. Well, I don't necessarily think it's it depends on what you mean by performance. Is it the hiring performance or just the performance that Ryan is doing in the job? And then it's going to show that. Is that what you're referring to?
The performance of the labor that you're paying for.
Yeah.
Okay. I disagree, but okay.
Okay, let me switch.
So let me back up then, Mike, and let's keep it relevant to you and I. Let's say the three of us are in Kandahar. You know the third. I'm not going to name him.
Right.
And they hired us all because we were white. And we effed it up from the floor up. Are we going to be continued to be employed?
No.
The market punishes.
Right. I got you. And you brought defense contracts back in, but we're going to keep it there. Okay?
And rightfully so. That's a skewed market.
Right. But no, and let's just keep it there, right? Because that's what we all know. But my thing is, why does it always have to be like you can perform the job, I can perform the job. But when you deliberately overlook you because your pigment is not like mine, that's an issue.
Why is it an issue? It's my business.
Okay, but like you said, soon it's going to be punished, right?
Correct. And I'm going to have to deal with that. Let's go back to the baker of the cake.
Yeah. I think it's up in Seattle.
Cake for two gay guys.
Yeah.
That's Colorado.
Okay, so that's your prerogative. You know what I would do? Homosexuals are going to spend a shit ton of money on cakes. I would open up a bakery across the street that caters to nothing but gay people. So your exclusion of the market, whatever that distortion is going to punish you.
I don't agree.
Can I switch
gears? No, not all the time. I agree, but not all the time, you know? And I'm not looking for people to be punished.
Because you're going to find people in the market that agree with you.
Yeah.
Can I bring up an anecdotal?
Let's give Jim a chance here.
I want to bring up an anecdotal thing that I actually experienced myself. And unfortunately, it had nothing to do with pigment, but it was similar in process because I was working at the airport in TSA. I was working as a trainer, loved my job. Everybody loved me. I did a great job, got all these accolades, and the supervisor changed. And all of a sudden, he wanted to hire or bring his buddy on the team. And then I got kicked out by seniority. So I literally got kicked out and sent back to the line, which you don't normally do, just like the military. You don't put a trainer back in with the same people he trained. And I ended up quitting the job because they did their little political thing. and I quit the job. So they lost a good trainer. I went on with my life, went somewhere else, and finished. But it was all because not the pigment. It was because he wanted to hire or bring his best friend in, and I lost my job for it. I mean, the end of the day, if I'm a skilled person, I'm gonna get a job. I'm not gonna sit there and complain about this one little incident. And guess what? My skills will go to another company who may now thrive. To me,
So you
obviously
were
it's not.
okay with what happened, though?
I didn't like it.
No,
What am I
you were
going to
okay
do?
with it. So you
No,
weren't
I just
okay
moved
with it.
on. No, I moved on.
I got
What was I
you.
going to
So
do?
no, it
Stomp
doesn't
my
matter about.
feet?
I just asked a simple question: did you like it or did you not?
No, I didn't like the feeling at all.
Okay, that's all I asked.
Right.
You liking shit is up to you. That's your own personal choice.
Right, and you not doing anything about it.
Your own personal choice.
And I agree, Paul. And we've had that discussion. But just because if Paul feels he doesn't like what just happened to him and he wants to take it a step further, I don't have an issue with that. And you guys are sitting here saying it's their business, it's their business. I'm like, I don't have an issue with you guys saying that. But I don't have an issue with people saying, hey, this is wrong. We have to do something about it. I don't have an issue with that neither.
What's wrong about it?
It's not fair.
I never once said it was
life's
their
not fair.
business
So what's
either.
your point?
Say what?
Life's not fair. What's your point?
So you're okay with it?
That life sucks a big bag of dicks. And
No, I'm just talking about what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm okay with
So
that.
if somebody says, hey, I only want to hire white people, you're okay with that?
Say what?
If somebody says, I'm not going to stick it there, but if somebody says, I only want to hire this group of people, you're okay with that?
Is it their business that they started?
No, they're a hiring manager or whatever. I don't care.
Is it their business?
Define their business. Now we're just going down a rabbit hole
business here. I don't know how. I mean, that's 2 words. I don't know how to be any more direct.
No. Okay, if it's a hiring manager for one of the companies we work for, is it their business?
So is
it their business?
Business, or are they just letting the?
If it's a hiring manager for one of the companies that we work for, Paul, is it their business?
It's their job, not their business.
See? No, this is what I like. It's not that simple, right?
Oh, no, it is that simple.
So is it their business? Yes or no?
It is their business, and so you hire a person.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Just let me finish.
Yeah,
if it is your business and you hire a hiring manager, you are hiring that person to represent you in that process. It's still your business because you hired your hiring manager. Now,
no, it's the hiring manager's business now.
That's your fault for being ignorant about what happens in your
Paul,
business.
you're conflating 2 things. It's the hiring manager's business. That's what you're saying.
Is the hiring manager being hired, paid their labor to represent those who own the business?
We're missing words here, man. That's what I said. You said it was simple. So I said, is it the hiring manager's business? Yes or no? I say it's not.
Well, it may be, it may not. I don't know what your business structure is, but
okay, so it's not that easy.
Shareholder as a hiring manager.
Jesus,
the shareholders who own the business hired you to do a job, and if they're totally ignorant of that, that's on them. The market will punish them.
Paul, you just said it was so simple.
It is.
And look, we've been spending the last 2 minutes trying to find whose business it is. So it's not that simple.
No, I realized that there could be a dichotomy between a hiring manager and the shareholder.
Okay.
I realize that. But if you're the shareholder and you pay for the labor of another, you are responsible for that. So yes, they are your agent acting on your behalf. And if you're ignorant of that, the market will punish you. But let's go back to the cake. It's my business. I started it. Can I not hire who the fuck I want?
Okay, I say yes.
Okay, so what's the issue?
This is where we agree. Here's where we disagree.
It's your job. It's me purchasing labor from an individual. The job doesn't belong to you. You might do it for a certain period of time, but it doesn't belong to you. Your labor is being bought.
Right. So when people start to stand up and say, hey, Paul's Bakery has treated me unfairly.
Leave.
Jim, I
Leave.
got that. They didn't get to leave because you never hired them in the first place.
Okay.
But Jim's position
Who the fuck
is
wants to work there?
okay. I got that. You're okay with it. I got it. Just let me finish. Like I let you finish, right?
I'm sorry.
So my thing is, Jim's position is, hey, I'm good with that, right? So now when the market starts, and we call it these days cancel culture, right? The market is speaking, saying, hey, that's not fair. You're not doing that anymore. The market has spoken, and then that cancel culture comes in, and then their business is affected by it. Why get upset about it?
Oh, I don't. The only problem that I have with that is cancel culture is not the market. It is a small, fringe, very loud portion of the market. It is a very small percentage of the market.
Can I again? Can I again, please? Can I please again? I want
no matter how you want to look at it, the market has spoken.
But
no,
and if that business goes out of business because of the way they treated
is a gas
the
station
market
here in New Jersey, I cannot find a person considered Caucasian working at a gas station. I do not see anybody standing out in front of them, boycotting them, complaining they can't get a job at a gas station. It is all a certain demographic that buys gas stations and hires their families. They bring them in, hire their family, and nobody's complaining that, hey, I can't get a job pumping gas here. And yes, New Jersey is the only state where you can't pump your own gas. So how is that the same thing, but nobody's upset about that?
Because that's the way it is in New Jersey. I don't know what to tell you.
But what I'm saying, it's not. It's strictly one demographic, and that's it. And they just hire, and it's their business.
Yeah,
and they
but if you go to certain neighborhoods, and this is going to support, especially Paul's position here. If you go to certain neighborhoods, you'll see everyone in this McDonald's is Hispanic, right?
Okay.
No one's complaining about not getting hired in that McDonald's if they're not Hispanic. So I don't understand your position. Maybe it's the type of job it is. I don't know.
That's my point. Right, that's my point. It's more than just a pigment. It's more than just a pigment. Do these people that own the gas stations not like white people? Probably. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe they come from a culture that, tore a whole bunch of white people apart.
But with that, you would have to find some white people or other people who would complain about not being hired by them.
But the average white dude's not going to do that. They're just going to go find another fucking job.
Okay.
I don't go, oh, you're not hiring me because I'm white. I mean, is that our white privilege that we just say, maybe, hey, fuck it, and we go somewhere else? I mean, I don't understand.
Some people would say, yeah. Some people would say yes to that.
I mean, and some people would say all kinds of stupid shit too, like leeching people is good medicine. I don't know.
But what would Ryan say?
Everybody's entitled to their own fucking opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's factual.
Right. But my whole thing to this, Paul, is, and I already knew it, right? Your position is, it's okay. I don't have a problem with it. Let the market speak, right? My position, my counter to that is the market does speak, and people have a problem with what we could now call, not you, Paul, but I'm just saying what people now call cancel culture. You know what I mean? That's the market speaking.
I think the problem you have with counterculture, though, is it's not the market speaking. It's a fringe of the market speaking. So let's look at the NFL. They got all woke. What happened? What did the market do to the NFL? They went, fuck you. I'm not going to watch your games because I don't want to hear this woke shit. The market has spoken. They caved to the fringe, and then the mass majority went, I ain't having none of this shit. So
and I don't think they have a hard time hiring. They're not all white organization, right?
Oh, no, they're racist as fuck. If you look, there's way more blacks per populace in the per capita demographic than there are whites. Same with the NBA. Racist as fuck. Why doesn't the NBA have a bunch of short white guys in it?
MLB is based on position. It's on position.
Oh, it's based on position. Okay.
Why doesn't the NBA have a bunch of short white guys in it? They're
Because
racist
they
as
prefer
fuck.
the tall white guys.
So what?
They prefer the tall white guys.
Okay, so even tall white guys, like look at the percentage of NBA players that are black versus white, and then put that to the demographic of the 13% or 6% of black males in the United States. Why is it drastically black in the NBA? Racist as fuck. It's a stupid argument, isn't it?
Not to
Because it goes
me.
against meritocracy.
It's not to me though.
Race theory does.
Yeah, but you should.
Then
we should be able to stand up to get Ryan in the NBA. Let's fight for that.
I'm 6'5".
Holy
there
shit!
You go.
See, why the fuck isn't he in there? Racist motherfucker.
Have you seen Ryan play basketball?
Oh, that matters.
Doesn't matter.
Dude, I can dunk, man.
Doesn't matter. He's 26% of the population, not 8% of the population.
No.
He needs to be represented equally.
No. He is represented. He's represented.
He's not.
He's represented.
Back in the 80s.
Back in the 80s. So you say critical race theory does just that?
It's teaching more racism.
Critical race theory looks at things through the lens of racial equality. So if you're wearing rose-colored glasses, what do you see? Everything you see has to do with race. They totally disavow meritocracy. Critical race theory totally disavows being colorblind. Isn't this what the fuck we were supposed to do? Didn't Dr. King say, I dream of the day when a man is judged by his character, not by the color of his skin? But no, fuck all that. Fuck.
So you're saying we're there now?
I want you to be judged by the color of your skin, but only if you're not white.
So you're saying that we're there now, right? We should be.
No, I think we're digressing. We're not evolving.
Okay, when did we what year or decade or whatever would you say that we were evolving and then we started to digress?
Well, critical race theory started in the early 70s.
Right.
So I can imagine the legal thought process that was going on. That's where it started with, was legal scholars saying, hey, we have a systemic problem where blacks are being fucked with. I will 100% agree in 1970 that we had some institutional problems that were putting blacks at a disadvantage.
Okay, so
through the 80s.
Okay, through the 80s. So would you say that it stopped around
the 90s?
Oh, well, damn, Paul. Well, damn.
But it's probably getting less and less, right? Because all the
here we are,
industries.
Here we are, 2008. I feel that, again, it's anecdotal from my experience as a white man, that we have come to a point in time where that shit really doesn't matter too much.
What are you basing that off of?
Because I don't see people around me going, oh, fuck him, he's a black guy. I see them going, fuck that piece of shit over there. He's a lazy, worthless motherfucker. And you go, oh, he's white, he's Hispanic, he's Asian, he's black. It doesn't make a difference. It's based on meritocracy, on what you bring to the fucking table. It's based on, yeah, I agree with Dr. King. We need to judge a man on his character, not his color. And then all of a sudden we get this guy in office, this whole systemic racism. You can't make it because you're black, but a black man becomes the president of the fucking United States. And he goes, you know what? Fuck Whitey. I've been held down because of the color of my skin. How the fuck you been held down? You're the president of the United States. So we went from
hold up now. Just because he said he was held down doesn't mean he was kept down.
You obviously fucking weren't.
Okay.
You're the leader of the free world.
Are you serious right now?
You're the leader.
Okay, I got that. Are you saying that
Come up here to Appalachia?
I got that,
white
Paul.
motherfuckers up here
Paul,
that ain't got shit,
okay.
That they're being held. They're not being held down because they're colored.
Right. So there's no such thing as racism anymore.
I never said that.
I'm asking you.
I never said that.
I'm asking you.
No, I never said that.
I'm asking you, is there any such thing as racism in America right now?
100%.
Okay, that's all I asked. That's all I asked.
So wait a minute. Hold on. So Mike, let me ask you this question. Because the modern definition of racism has to do with this strange, not that I judge you based on your pigment, but that I judge you on your pigment only within the confines of a power structure. Is that racism? So if you as a black guy go, hey, fuck you, white guy, you piece of shit, you're a fucking asshole just because you're white, is that racism?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
To me, it is. You're asking me.
Well, I mean, I agree. You and I are common sense fucking people, but in the notion of critical race theory, that's not racism. Because
Where do you see that in critical race theory?
White, and somehow white people are in the position of power, even though the president was black, the AG was black.
Okay. Oh, hold up now.
So you have this power dynamic that doesn't make it racism. So are black people racist against white people?
So, Paul, let me ask you this. We both agree this came out like 40 years ago, right?
It's longer than that, but go ahead.
Okay, right. So let's say you said you agree with it being okay in the 70s. Yeah. You said that, right?
No, I didn't say it was okay. I recognized that it existed.
Okay. And then you said the same thing about the 80s, right?
Correct.
And then you said, hell, I'll put it through the 90s as well, correct?
Sure.
All right. So why are you so opposed to it today?
I don't know. Maybe there's the notion of like 3 decades later.
So could it be that it's just teaching history? Because you agree with it back in the 70s.
No. Hey, I'm totally down with teaching history. I'm a historian.
Okay,
I'm totally down with that. Hey, in the past, this shit existed and it was fucked up.
So
slavery existed in the past.
I got it.
Fucked up.
People were enslaved. I got it.
I get it. I'm totally down with it.
Right. So if it started out, we said way back before the 70s. Let's stick with the 70s. If it started in the 70s.
It didn't start in the 70s. It started ending in the 70s, but go ahead.
Okay, it started ending in the 70s. Okay? However you want to, whatever year you want to put on it. But it's back then, correct?
Correct. Okay.
We agree on that. Okay. So my thing is, why are you so opposed to it? It's just teaching history.
Whoa. No, it's not.
Critical race theory is not teaching history. It's
totally
theory.
Oh my God.
So on board with it, I couldn't even tell you. It's not.
Okay.
That.
So you say back then there was systemic racism.
Correct. Yeah, and you can look at the laws and you can see that.
There was white supremacy back then.
You can look at redlining laws that ended in 83.
I got that. Right? You agree, Jim?
Yeah, but I agree with in the United States. If you're going to keep this in context, you can't say white supremacy as in the entire world of every white person is supreme.
I'm talking United States, man. I'm not talking about Venezuela.
But racism does not mean United States people. Racism means an entire race of people.
No, we're talking about racism in America.
Right,
that's what
which
I'm talking
means
about.
An entire race of people.
In America.
How it's displayed in America still means it's an entire race. So there's no difference between a white man not liking a black guy in America and a white man not liking a black man in Africa. That's still a race. The definition of race is not an American thing.
Okay, so that's how you see it.
Yeah, an entire race.
All right, cool. When did racism stop in America?
Oh, it'll never stop. Ever. It'll never stop in the
world.
Okay,
I got that. When did white supremacy stop in America?
It's individually based. Why would it ever stop? But the reverse is also true.
But you agree with it. There was white supremacy in America back in the days of the 70s. Let's just stick with the 70s, correct?
Okay.
And they were in the government.
We'll stick with 50 years ago if you want to.
Say what?
Okay.
Say what? I ain't hear you, Paul. I'm serious. I didn't hear the last thing he said.
I said we'll stick with 50 years ago. We'll stick with
50 years ago.
Generations ago. Okay.
Right. So you agree that white supremacy was rampant back then, right?
I won't say that it was rampant, but I would say that there was some systemic embedment in the system in the 70s and even in the 80s. I'll give you the redlining laws.
Do you agree with that, Jim?
That it was, yes, but I also believe it was also decreasing as the decades were going.
I'll agree with that as well.
Because certain industries started to have less and less issues. Right.
Name an industry.
Sports.
That's a good
the
one.
automotive
Entertainment
industry.
Entertainment.
So being that these industries started to be more inclusive, what you guys say? That means racism stopped.
No.
No, racism will
Racism's
never
individually
stop.
based.
in the
Individuals
industry,
out
in
there
the
that will judge
industries,
No.
people on
guys.
their skin color.
But you
will
can't
Right.
just bunch
never
in
do away with
racism.
that.
You can't bunch in racism because I can literally live right next door to a racist and it not affect the entire world. It's just this man that might be racist. So you're not going to actually end racism if the man next door is still a racist but minds his own damn business. So when you're talking about racism stopped,
I'm going to drop
no,
off,
it will
guys,
never
and go
stop.
make love to my wife. Y'all have a good night. He's a Mexican, by the way. I'm going to go fuck the hell out of her.
Touche, Ryan. Touche.
I'm just saying, I've got to sit there anyways. I hear her in the other room. Sounds like she's warming up for me. So,
Yeah, we kind of bombarded it, man. Do you have anything to say on it?
no, I'm good at this point. No, I mean, nope. I mean, I see there's definitely racism in America today. I'm not going to deny that. And I mean, I don't think you'll ever get rid of it, unfortunately. And I don't think, is it fair? No, but is it worth? I don't think it's a majority. I think it's a minority that's racist. I think I think true racism at that level is so small in America at this point that it's just not in your face like it was back then. I think that people are looking for it more than they were back then. But if you're looking for anything, you're going to find it. So.
Ryan, if I told you about an instance with me, right, would you believe me and say, man, that's messed up?
Absolutely.
Right. And I think that's the problem in America. And I think we've talked about this before, is when people are sharing stories that they truly believe is racist or an act of racism. And do people pull that card a little bit too much to me? I think with all three of you, I've admitted, hell yeah. But when people, I'm not immediately discounting what people say. I just let them speak, and then I just assess it. Mm-hmm. And how do I assess it? I assess it by things that I've gone through. And that's why I say, as a medic over in Afghanistan, as a single dad, as a big country, brother I love, right? And the things that we've gone through in Marietta, Georgia, right?
Yeah.
So when you guys speak of your personal story, I probably can't relate, but I accept it. So then it's like I'm living through it vicariously through you, right? Now, people don't know me. You guys do. But the problem I have in America, which is all supposed to be this one all-inclusive rainbow whatever, is when somebody different than you is speaking about a personal experience. Yeah, they give off the appearance that a group may give off the appearance that they're pulling a certain card a little bit too quick. Why? If you never experienced that, why are you so quick to discount it? Because right then and there, you are defending those people that you're defending those people that are doing wrong out there.
No,
I think you're talking individual.
People that are doing wrong. That's a disagreement with your
you were just talking individuals, Jim.
Well, that's what you're just talking about, an anecdotal thing that happened to you, and I wouldn't disagree with what you say because I know you and trust you.
Jim, but you're full of it because you've already done it, and we're not going to get into that. All right?
No, and maybe this is the reason. Maybe this is the reason because what we're talking about is not us guys talking around what's happened to us. We're talking about what you're saying is racism. We're talking about white privilege. We're talking a group that I fit into. It's almost as if I were to hear to make some comment about black people, assuming you don't fit in that group. That's not that we're talking about. When people talk about racism and white privilege, I'm white. Even if I don't think I have some privilege, you've now brought me into the conversation. It's not about you. Even if I've done that, Mike, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's never been what I was talking about. I'm talking about a generalization in a whole population, which we're talking about, a race. You can't say maybe that guy was racist or maybe he was just an ass. So I'm not saying anecdotal crap. I'm talking about the overall population. Does racism exist? Could you have experienced it? Yes, I've experienced it. And I'm a white guy. Just because I talked a certain way and acted a certain way, almost got my ass kicked in Alabama because I thought I was trying to be like a certain race. So I've seen it. Whatever. But I seen that. But my point being is, do I judge those guys in Alabama as I would judge every white guy in the country? No. So that's my point. So when we're talking about this stuff, it's not that I don't believe it. I'm saying it existed right there in that person.
Right. So when my thing is keeping on what you just said, if you have these instances where you've experienced something similar, then why do we discount it?
It's not discounted. It just doesn't mean that it's true all the way across the board.
Yeah,
So,
but you've
like,
never experienced it.
critical
You didn't go
race
through
theory
what
was
they
the
went
topic.
through.
Critical race
Yeah, but-
theory was the topic.
But hold
Right.
on, you're assuming that I didn't
get
experience the
ahead
reverse.
because you're black. And I look at Mike James and go, yeah, your anecdotal experience in Montgomery, Alabama does not meet the experience I have in the world. Right? Because I don't think that Mike James cannot get ahead because he's black. Do I recognize that there might be bullshit barriers that are put in front of Mike James because he's black? Yeah. Do I think that's fucked up? 100%. But you can't tell me that black men can't exceed in this world because I know Mike James. So it's a bullshit narrative.
I don't see
feel
that in
that
critical
way,
race theory.
But I have experience that says that what your opinion is not necessarily true. You're entitled to your opinion. That doesn't necessarily mean that your opinion is the truth.
No, what I'm talking about is something that happened to someone.
Yeah, but critical race theory
again, something
bunches everybody together again. It puts people in groups.
Somebody else, and I can look at you as an example and say that's bullshit. I'm just using you as an example.
Yeah, I know, but you guys were talking over each other. I didn't hear what you said.
Critical race theory would tell, and this is where I think this is the nefariousness of it, is you tell a black kid that he can't get ahead in life because there's some white dude holding him down. It's impossible for you to get ahead. The system's stacked against you. And then I go, okay, I listen to that and I go, you know my buddy Mike James? Well, he just kind of disproved your theory. What you have experienced, the person that was telling me this, may be legitimate and may be true and may be their own opinion. But that doesn't necessarily mean that their opinion or their perspective is the truth.
So, yeah, but isn't it just your opinion? Because now you just name one person. Or you
100%.
I'm not going to say just one person. Well,
Your
just to say you name one
versus
person.
my anecdote.
Right.
Well, see, let me say, if I wanted to believe in what this is saying about the generalizations, because that's what it is to me. Critical race theory is no more. It's just racist in itself because it's putting all people in groups by their pigment. And I will tell you for a fact, just like my experience in Alabama, do you know why I became like that? Because in New Jersey, where I grew up, I was trying to fit in with a certain demographic. And I will tell you from the point of racism, me being a white man amongst a demographic that is not white, I experienced a lot of racism because I didn't fit in to that demographic. And I was so confused, like, wait a minute, I'm one of you, I'm here with you. But I experienced it. Now, if I were to use that experience and go out into the world and say, oh, all this demographic is just this, then what would that have gotten me? I'd probably be with the guys in Alabama.
I don't think it's that. I think it's more like when you hear something from Paul, you can say, I can see why he believes that or why he thinks that way because of my experiences as well.
Yeah, but I've had,
like I said,
right, but I've had different types of people with the same demographic in my life. If I only had one type of a person in that demographic, maybe my opinions could be skewed. But I've experienced good people and bad people of every race. So I know that there's no point in assuming that an entire race is anything.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's. Yeah, that's what Paul was telling me. I don't think it's speaking about a certain. That's why I say maybe we need to read up on it a little bit more because to me we're talking differences here with critical race theory.
Well, you're saying what?
And then
it's history.
To me,
it's history of the white man or all white men
in America.
So is it all white men in America were the oppressors?
No, it's just like you guys agreed to, right? There was systemic racism in America, right? There's white supremacy in America. I don't
Sure.
see a problem with teaching that in schools.
Right, but there was
No.
also white
No,
people
I agree
who
with you.
helped end that stuff. Well, we need to
Yeah,
teach that equally.
and
So not by
you
entire
never learned
race.
about that in school.
Well, we can't teach an entire race, but we all knew about slavery. It's not like they didn't teach us that white people owned slaves.
You're not speaking of critical race theory when you say what you said, Mike.
What
You're
part?
speaking of being actual factual historians. You're not speaking of critical race theory. Those are two different
but it's
entities.
it's a theory.
Yeah, okay, so it's a legal theory. So, Johnny Cochran used that in the OJ trial. Yeah, he murdered his wife, but, he's a black guy, so, you should
No,
give
he
him
didn't
some
do
fucking
that, Paul.
slack.
He didn't do that. Come on now.
He did.
No, he didn't. He didn't
Trust
say
me.
he
It
murdered
wasn't
his
in
wife.
those-
He's
in
a
those
black
words.
guy.
I'd have to go back and look at, but he used
Right.
that same theory as the defense of OJ. It's fucked up.
No, he didn't use that.
He did.
I thought the glove didn't
Absolutely.
fit.
Google it.
Google it. It's the
I
law.
hate to
We're back
sound
to
like
that, Paul.
fucking Chunk in the day. Google it.
It's on the
Seriously.
internet. It's got to be true.
He used that as the defense. That's fucked up, Mike. I believe in critical. Here's the main premise of critical race theory. Right, we have to view everything in through the eyes of a certain race. Meritocracy is bullshit. Being colorblind is bullshit. You need to view the world through the lens of a certain color. That is fucking digression. Fucking blacks worked their ass off. They fucking suffered. They marched. They put the fucking work in for almost 2 decades, 50s through the 60s, early 70s. They did shit tons of work to say we're all fucking equal as people and we should be judged upon our fucking character. And now all of a sudden, no. Fuck character. Fuck being colorblind. You need to view that through the lens of being fucking in color. We're going backwards.
How is that going backwards?
It's going backwards.
How?
No.
You've never looked at
Hey,
people have
Mike,
never looked at it through the lens of color.
Mike, I look at you as a man. I don't look at you as a black man. I don't look at Jimbo as a white man. I don't look at Ryan
We all
as
see Jim as a white man.
I look at them as a fucking man. You could be a douchebag. I don't give 2 fucks where you come from, what your color is, what your ancestry is. If you're a douchebag, you're a douchebag. If you're a fucking honest stand-up dude, I don't give 2 fucks what your color is.
I got that, Paul.
Judging you on your character.
Right.
Now you want me to tell you, nah, don't judge a man on his
No,
character.
I don't want you to tell me anything. Just keep it right there.
I just want you to know, identify as an Asian transgender. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave this and let's give Ryan the last word. Let's end this. We can do this.
I'm
again
not giving
another
Ryan
time.
the last word. See, it always happens like that.
It's always a white guy, right?
No, he's
Always
not
a white guy gets the last
word. He's not your typical white guy, okay?
Well, I want to end this because we can do this again and probably still take it just as long, but this one's getting really long. So why don't we put a cap on this and revisit this again, because it's obviously stimulating
That's my
conversation.
pull the pin right there.
What, me ending the show?
Jim ending good conversation.
Well, it's not about me, dude. It's about the people watching. If they're not really going to watch for this long, they don't watch our 30-minute ones. Why are they going to watch for an hour? Like, come on. This is a smart business decision. Now, you can make it with me, or you can use race and say, I made it because I'm white and you're not.
White privilege. Go ahead, Ryan.
I don't know what you want me to go ahead with at this point. Shit.
End the show, Ryan. Give us a closing.
Hey, I tell you what, I want to do a call out for the men and women down there digging people out now in Florida, man. I think that's probably the greatest come together I've seen in a long time from country to country. It's unbelievable. You know, they're doing such amazing things down there, and just they're all heroes in my eyes. Everyone are risking their lives down there right now. So that's all.
You know what? I'll piggyback on that since we're going to do our endings here. I'm going to throw our president in the whatever, pulling the pin on him, because you notice in that press conference, Kamala Harris had to remind him to talk about that. Did you see that? No. He went down there for a briefing and completely forgot to talk about that. She had to turn him around. Awesome. Yeah, go watch that one.
I will. That's awesome.
You guys want to pull the pin? Person of the week. Let's end this.
Can I give a shout out?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I would love to give a shout out to all the old and young women out there that are doing what they're supposed to do to make our society a better place. It's in depth when I say that, but I'm not going to go into it at this point. But
I would like
give a
to
shout out to the women in our society that are doing right.
define right, but hey,
Yeah,
on my
no. I had a comment too, Mike, but I didn't want to extend the show, so let's just get to yours.
I got it. I know where he's going. But my POW is gonna be people of the week is gonna be to my friend, my brother Hence in Kuwait. Also my brother and friend Patrick. You know him, right? Paul? Patrick, right? In Georgia, and to my Kuwaiti brother Amir. They are really looking out. They have looked out, and it doesn't matter how long you go without talking. We're still brothers, and I love that. And they're taking care of another family member over in Kuwait for me. So thanks a lot, brothers. I appreciate it.
And with that said, we are looking out for each other, and we're looking out for those of you watching, because what we just discussed here may seem heated and whatever, but we all still love each other. So,
No, I don't.
Mike's gonna deny. I knew it. Like I didn't. I should just put the space in there. I knew it was coming. But that is all the time we have for this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great day. Get involved. Come join us, and Godspeed.
Veterans talking. Pull the pin.
Thanks for joining us here at Pull the Pin Already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.